I have a tip for you. It's very straightforward, and it is a game changer. I mentioned this in my previous video, my favorite classroom supplies video. This is sort of digging a little deeper, getting a little bit more specific about exactly what I need in my life when I am teaching these awesome kids across the pond at 4 a.m. in the morning. It helps me drive the message, and I think you will agree. So, if I don't have this little set of tricks and tips, then my students take a little bit longer to get the point. Every now and then I have to travel and I teach outside of my setting, and if I forget to bring my essentials, then I have to actually just recreate them because they're that important. What are they? Let's dig a little deeper. My high frequency words like article word, or a. I simply take a piece of laminated paper and I cut it up into small pieces, and I use this all of the time. A cat. A cat. This is a cat. A cat. You'll notice often that students will drop or omit the article words a and the. The cat, circling the word the cat, right? The apple, highlighting the TH sound, the voiced TH sound, right? The. I use this constantly. So I also use an elephant. A elephant? A elephant? Mm-mm. And this is how I correct, by the way. I don't say no, I don't make a big thing, but I make this cute little sound. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And all of my students know exactly what that means. It's a gentle way to redirect and work on something that needs improvement. So back to the other useful high frequency word, an elephant. A elephant? Mm-mm. And then I have them circle an elephant, an apple. Or when they're reading the word an in a word and it's lowercase, circle an, right? Another one, must do. I use this constantly. With, and I write it in both ways. I use this side when I see they aren't pronouncing or articulating that sound properly. I get a lot of substitutions for this. With, a lot, or whis, or whip. Yes, I have another video on that in my slew of tips that I've shared with you. What is the last? This is probably the one that I use the most, S. Because as you know, when conjugating many verbs, he, she, it, as in third person, he, she, it. I also have another video on that. Anyway, he, she, it comes, right? Or follows, or runs, or walks, or she hears with her ears. I use this S probably the most often. So, the ones that I use the most. Oh, and then I also use, in some cases, the verb will be conjugated with an ES at the end. Like watch versus I watch versus he watches, watches. I use syllables, like I've talked about in other videos as well. I watch, I watch. He watches, he watches. Watches, watches, watches. Okay? Key. So, most commonly used, high frequency words. I will repeat. These are my top 5. Okay? Or a, the, depending on where it falls in the sentence. An, with, and the number one by a long shot is S, or as. I mainly use this for vowels. I mainly use this for verbs, but it comes in handy for plurals as well. I have made so many of these, every now and then I will lose it. It'll get stuck in my other things and I can't find it, so I simply make another. Plenty of opportunity to use that. Now, in addition, I also use my high frequency sentence patterns. So I'll start at the bottom with the most basic. This is a. I talk about intonation all the time, or rather I incorporate intonation. I don't tell my students that I'm teaching them intonation by any stretch, but I incorporate it into the teaching so that it is folded into their process. So I underline is because is almost always emphasized, right? This is a cheetah, okay? This is a, so I will use this to prompt speaking or replying to my question. What is this? This is a, and then they fill in the blank, right? A lot of times the word this gets confused with these. These. It's not these, it's this. This. Versus these are multiple or plural objects. 2 apples. What are these? Or what are these? These are pants. These are socks. These are apples. Right? This is how I do it. Those. For those things, the demonstratives, as you know, those, far, are fingers. This is a finger, right? Those are fingers, right? Okay, another. They are, right? There is a, and this is something that I use. You don't see it too often in our lessons. I generally teach level 2s and level 3s, but I use this as a precursor to developing conversational skills. So I'll ask whenever I see an opportunity in a lesson or when it just strikes me to ask, do you like ice cream? Do you like cookies? And I will show them a picture. I've talked to you. I know I'm turning my back to you, and that's probably faux pas, but whatever. I do that to my students all the time because I've got stuff to grab and I don't keep everything right in front of me. But anyway, I use something like this to talk about food. I, of course, printed something out in color and I laminated it and then I label it and I ask them, do you like pizza? Do you like pizza? Yes, I like pizza. Along those lines, using that laminator with your high frequency words and sentence patterns makes a huge difference. When your regulars start to see your patterns, they will adopt them and become more fluent. And you will get all the 5 apples you can take. Okay, my friends, thanks again for stopping by. Happy teaching.